What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for January 19th, 2026. 4.6 is now in open PTU for everyone to check out. This new pricing surge thing is a bit of a flop, and while this next patch feels a little light, there are a ton of small changes that are actually exciting. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, so stop by and say hi if you haven't yet. I always enjoy seeing you guys come over from here and say hello and all that stuff, so stop by and do that. And yeah, we do have quite a bit to get through, so before we do, let me share with you today's sponsor. Thank you to Boot.dev for sponsoring today's video. They're back for the armchair developers that love to be in the comments. I think there's going to be a lot this week. You yourself can become a back-end web developer using Boot.dev's innovative and really smart lessons towards your goals. You'll learn back-end web development from start to finish with Python and Go programming languages. I've even seen SQL, but what makes these lessons so different and cool is they use modern game design to create a self-paced but captivating RPG game that teaches you how to code. It's pretty cool. The newest feature and more recently launched is the Training Grounds. This is a place where you can grind infinite challenges to give you as much practice as you might need to forge ahead in your coursework. You can even give it prompts to work on certain weaknesses that you might want to improve on. Learning to code, though, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a real deal course. It takes around 12 months or so. It goes properly in depth on both theory and practice. Now, here's the really cool part. All of Boot.dev's content is free to read and watch in guest mode. You don't need to pay. The paid membership unlocks the interactive features like the hands-on coding, AI assistance, progress tracking, and the game mechanics. And with that, Boot.dev never wants their students to feel like they aren't getting value. So they offer a 30-day no questions asked refund policy, as well as a free demo of every course and its interactive features. So head over to Boot.dev and use my code SaltEMike to get 25% off your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. Once again, that's SaltEMike for 25% off your first payment at Boot.dev. And with all the bills paid, let's jump into those patch updates. All right, starting out on Monday, we still were in Evocati, and this is just making these missions official, where CIG is calling mining and salvage missions here. Hand mining missions are absolutely mining missions, because as far as I'm aware, you cannot buy Hadanite or Dolovine or any of those types of gems, but once you complete the intro hand mining mission and you get the ship mining missions, yeah, it requires you to refine the ore to complete. That means you can buy them, find them, and, you know, find them any way you want, which is actually faster than completing them by mining. So, yeah, a little bit weird. Patch notes mentioned rep is there, but up to this recording at least, there are only intro missions for the ore being asked for. So, yeah. The only difference is the type of ore in Stanton in each region. So Hurston asked for a different ore than Orison, right? And yeah, Tuesday, we had 4.6 go to Wave 1 PTU, and there's not a ton here in these notes. They just did a little polish with some of the missions. So with that, I'll take this section to just share some of the things that I couldn't show you from Evocati last week and some of the things not listed in the notes. For one, weapon animation fixes that Zach put in might be helpful. Remember, you can swap like crazy now. I was spamming the buttons here wildly, and you can cancel medgun sprint and it just kind of comes right back. And well, you can cancel medgun with sprint and it just comes right back, and you can cancel reloads by swapping weapons, and it doesn't just appear to be causing any issues right now. This again will take time, and we'll need to see how this plays out on live to get the real feedback if it's working. The fire extinguisher now propels you in EVA, and it does it really fast. It's quite cool, actually. And then, yeah, let's move on to Wednesday. Those are the only things I sort of want to talk about there, since Tuesday was a small patch. Wednesday, they finally kind of made it official for lamp in the notes. This is the new light amplification on our cockpit glass. Key thing of note here is it's not on all ships and it will be added to all of them over time. So there is a list here on the screen that is available to you at the moment. So feel free to sound off on how this feels to you. But as someone who likes to mine, it just is nice to be able to see on the night side of a planet. So yeah. Bugs at the bottom start addressing the mission grind that people are not happy about as well. And then Wednesday, we also had pricing surge on live. So this is all about the changes coming this year for the content and patch cycles and all that. They clearly cannot maintain the pace they had last year. That was insane. One patch each month, and I think the content they made never quite worked because of that pace, right? So to me, this is the best solution for us as players and them as devs in the midterm while waiting for a patch and making sure it's ready, right? This is like doing Jumptown events to kind of keep us busy. They just need to do something that might actually matter a bit more. I think the issue with this event is the timing, not the idea necessarily. For example, I went to haul some tungsten. I bought it for 1.5k SCU each and sold for a little over 4k SCU each. That's a super good return, right? But it's fairly small scale, and the sell points have such a small elevator that it's hard to make money doing these. Like significant money that matters because we have so much of it. And even if we didn't have so much of it, the missions that are available pay better than this, right? I'm not sure for me if like, I think we just give them feedback here and that's what we should be doing, right? Just for me, I do think they should keep doing this, but not like this. So I say keep it up, right? Things like tier 0 item recovery go, you know, when they go away because they're getting in the way of what they could do, things might be cool, right? They could start dropping insane weapons for loot on NPCs or something. And that brings us to choke points like Brios is what they're trying to do here. And what I'm saying is money still doesn't mean anything in this game, and it won't mean anything in this game for quite some time unless they make some major changes. But items do. So take advantage of that. That would be my feedback. Great idea. Keep it up. I think it's the right thing to do. It's just do it differently. I think this anything involving money is never going to really hit that hard, right? Thursday, we had another 4.6 Wave 1 PTU. And this is where you start to see a little bit more mission balance. I'm going to be honest, I'm not grinding the PTU as the balance is constantly changing, so there isn't much learning going on for me. And honestly, it just isn't fun to play in a PTU. There's no rewards that you're going for, and money doesn't matter. Remember, this is going to be a grind, so I'll figure out most of this on live when I'm doing that grind where I can enjoy it. Surprisingly, the Aurora is now gold standard in this patch. That came sort of out of nowhere, but they absolutely dropped the ball really bad on it, I think. I hope they really learned from this. Overall, it's fine. They added everything they needed to add, but the power plant on the top of the ship. How am I supposed to repair this in gravity, right? Obviously, we have the panel that we can repair it up to 20%, but after that, what? So I literally have to flip the ship on its side. That is so dumb. It is this. That's the most critical part, right? In a serious situation in gravity, how do I solve my power plant going critical? I can't pull it out. Art has way too much power in this game, and the reason I think this happened is because of the amount of room on the sides, probably. They had no choice. They did. They had the choice to wait and do it properly, but they didn't, right? Art department and marketing control way too much. They need to make ships then function because they're making a game, and they don't need to push this out without making it work for the game they're making. It's very weird. I can't stand that. And yeah, outside of that, everything is fine. Do your gold standard thing. Great, appreciated, but do it right. Next update here is a bit weird. They changed the medium and large salvage panels to say wreckage. That's it. Not sure why this is noteworthy and in the notes at all. I even checked missions with ships and it didn't say anything different. Maybe I should have fractured the ship. Let me know if you, in the comments, if you guys have fractured a ship and see anything different in 4.6. I haven't done that yet. They also did some VR changes as well, which I actually tried for the first time this week. It was cool, not gonna lie, but it's not something I would do regularly in Star Citizen. And then Friday, we went open PTU. So they finally heard some of the cries from the community that box sizes are kind of annoying to deal with in the event missions. So they made them a little bit bigger. Melina Mold is actually spawning in the Levski quarantine zone, and that is because they want to add these milestone missions. I like this. This is a nice bit of depth to add to that system. But as I've been saying, the issue here isn't the missions for me personally, it is the storytelling. So when you go to add this extra mission that's supposed to add more depth to the story, well, if there's no depth to your story, you can't multiply by 0, right? It's just going to still be 0. So why should I care? And that's my problem with these missions. That's all. Outside of that, everything is cool. I checked for these black market change in the patch notes, and I went everywhere, even the secret contested zone shops, and I found nothing new. Ground vehicle missile balance is a semi-big one, but what is funny is this was just bringing it back to where it was. And like, where it wasn't super effective in the past. The main change here is shortening the lock and arm range to about 50 meters. Missiles don't just turn on a dime though, they don't do insane Gs, so you kind of have to lead the target, but against slower ships like really big bombers like the A2, trying to do a Hathor bombing run, for example, you probably will be able to kill that ship. Also, I can get the ballista down to 500 meters before it's seen on radar, so that kind of helps too. I do not hear any coughing in my hangar in Levski anymore as well on Friday, so that was a huge change. That was the patches this week. And yeah, 4.6, again, lots of small changes that are kind of good, but the main event is not that big of a deal, but it's the first patch of the year. Not everybody is at work yet. I think that's totally fine. I think it's a good start to the year. With that, let's move into the roadmap update to hear, I guess, a little bit more about what's in 4.6. All right, hey, just really quickly, just want to make sure I could include this in the video because the PTU is in a horrible state. I hear Live is as well. There's something going on with their back end or something. It took 15 minutes for a freight elevator to go down with 2 boxes on it. It actually never went down. I just gave up after 15 minutes. 10 seconds between quantum travel and pressing the button. Same thing with like getting out of the seat and stuff. So I don't want to ignore the fact that things are in a absolutely horrendously horrible state on the PTU. Kind of scary that if they rush this out and don't deal with this issue significantly and get to the root cause of it, then we're going to have a really horrible February. So I just want to make sure that we cover that and not ignore the fact that is there. I just really covered the features so far. And yeah, with that, I guess we'll move into officially roadmap updates. All right, so starting out, they're just adding the cards to the roadmap we've known about for a little bit over a week now, so I will just briefly cover that. Lamp is the first card, and again, this is just adding light amplification to some of the ships, and it's a welcome change. Color is manufacturer-based. Yeah, kind of cool. Next is the Clearing the Air event, which honestly is getting some cool additions to the storyline stuff that I talked about with those, you know, when you hit 50%, you get the extra story mission. Also, you know, all of this will end up making a really good 1.0 experience and hopefully one worth engaging with. But right now, again, it all just seems kind of pointless when the story is only happening to NPCs and not us. It's just, you know, a repetitive grind that they're asking us to complete. And here is where they're kind of named correctly. Instead of mining and salvage missions like we saw in the patch notes, they're called resource gathering. The reason is important because you can gather these items anywhere, right? It's not just even the hand mining missions. If you kill a player that has gems on them, guess what? You can complete these missions, right? So yeah, it's not mining and salvage missions because the other ways to do it tend to be faster, which is a little bit disappointing. I did talk to Elliot about this in my Twitch chat, and I will make this note for you guys, is I said, hey, for mining missions, why not raw ore being turned in? Then it really becomes a mining mission. And they said, oh, well, there was a technical limitation that we couldn't do that. That is absolutely what we wanted to do. I don't know if it's something that they will do in the future, but knowing that that's something that they wanted to do and they thought of, that's good enough for me, because if we tell them, hey, it should have been this way, but they never respond and they never recognize your feedback, then it's like, oh, well, do they even know? They know. Hopefully they deal with that technical limitation at some point and make it better. Just made me think of something as well. If any of you have used contracted cargo, for the ore type to complete these missions. I wonder if that would work. So let me know if you guys have done that as well. And then we get something new. In this ISC here, there was a bit of a debate about what Torsten wanted and what Jared expected.
You can also prepare by buying components and then storing them on the chip so that you can replace them. So this is like the prep work, the first, hopefully, 5 minutes, if we can make something work.
He's trying to get vendors added to the spaceports so
Yes.
that you don't have to run around. We'll see if we end up with that or not.
So Torsten got his way, kind of. There is nothing that you can purchase at these Kelto locations besides repair canisters, really. I don't even recall seeing fuses here, but I do think there were fuses, actually, but whatever. They are located at the spaceport of every major location in Stanton, and I have to say, I appreciate this, that the standard of every other city in every other location in the game, Pyro and Nyx, you aren't riding a 3-minute train to get anything, right? You're just a small elevator, something quick. The issue here isn't even that there's just like not a multi-tool for sale at these locations. I don't understand what the problem is. I get it. You spent millions of dollars making these locations. Forcing me to go buy something there is not the gameplay that should bring me to a city. Do a better job of making your cities more worth engaging with, and then we'll go there, right? So yeah, I want to see lots of things at the spaceport and something that we just pick up through our freight elevator. It's the way it should be. And lastly, this material update to weapons. I'm not going to lie, I looked, but I don't see much of a difference. Do you? All right, with that, let's move on to other updates. All right, and of course, we started with sneak peek. Not much to say here, really. This just maybe is the municipal work, so something that we likely saw at CitizenCon 2025 related to the content in Nyx. This could be even Rockbreaker. It's just not much to go on from what I could see. It's a hallway, and it looks like every other Star Citizen hallway. So, I don't know. Let me know if you guys see anything that I don't, but I don't see much there. Then the monthly store bundle. This is your standard concierge bait, since they're probably the main people that are making the purchases on these kind of things. It's a gold and black skin for the Guardian, along with the same for the Platino, armor, and the Volt LMG. This is my reminder that they said that they would split the skin from the armor, but they never said that you weren't buying the armor as well. And yeah, this is the price of a decent indie game, which is kind of crazy. Also, insurance. What happens to the items that you bought? Again, they're designing a game around a store and not designing the store around the game. Then, the icing on the cake was that it wasn't ready to release, so you bought it and you have to wait for 4.6 to use any of this. That's hilarious to me. So, you know, when you say that the store works perfectly, it doesn't always work perfectly. Sounds like somebody dropped the ball here. Then for dev posts, night vision on helmets is first. Their intention is to get night vision on helmets at some point as well, but honestly, I don't think that they would be very useful inside of a ship. So that's much more, you know, because like the MFDs are really bright. That was mentioned here, I believe. So it's more for like nighttime FPS stuff. And it actually sounds kind of cool where they can create content that is in completely dark areas and you just need to come prepared, right? Then for FPS desync, I love to see this. I have been harping on this for 2 to 3 years, I think. The FPS experience in Star Citizen can actually be really fun, but the desync issue basically just makes everything about it horrible. So finally acknowledging this helps, but I really hope they find some time with a network guy, network team to get to the root cause of this, because they have something really fun here. They just have to address it. And with that, that is Week in Review for this week, guys. 4.6 is coming fast. It doesn't seem like this 4.6 patch is in line with what they were saying about how slowly that they're going to move from this point on. It sounds like they're rushing to get this out immediately. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below on anything we talked about and anything we might have missed. And subscribe if you're really enjoying the Weeks in Review. And thank you so much. Check out boot.dev as well if you guys haven't yet. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.